Hey, what's up, turtles? It's Krik here with Black Owl Outdoors. Today I'm going to be doing a video showing some of my favorite knives, and this is a response to a video that YouTube username PA Bushcraft has asked us to do, Bill, PA Bushcraft. I'm just going to get started and get into some of my favorite knives, why I like them, and why I use them. So I'm going to be starting on my right, your left. This is the Rat 2, my EDC I've been carrying for a long time. I've been carrying the Blur now for a little bit, but I like this knife, one, because of the price, and two, because of just the size in the pocket. I'm not a really big fan of big folders in my pocket if I'm going to be wearing it every day, wearing it at work, or I'm moving around. So that's why I like this knife. Yes, there's better steels for knives and for folders, but like I said, for the price of this and the size and just the design in general, the fact that I can carry it right or left in my pocket, tip up, tip down, is just really nice. And it's just quality, the Ontario Rat 2. It's all around nice little knife to carry in the pocket. Moving on, one of two Moras I have in this list. This is the Mora Classic 1. This thing is really, really sharp. The reason why I like Moras, one, because again, their price, super high quality knife for the price. The Scandi grind, very, very easy to sharpen, very, very easy to get sharp. They come very sharp from the factory. But I like Scandi grinds, and particularly why I like the Moras, like I said, because of the price. For woodworking, for quote bushcrafting, a Scandi grind is, you know, parallel to none. If I want to do notches, take some bark off of stock, you know, anything like that, we're actually going to work with wood and not not chop or take down big pieces. A Scandi grind is really, really great. And this knife really has sentimental value for me because I've had it for a while. So one of the first knives I bought when I was actually sort of getting into bushcraft. I just like this classic look too with the wood handle. I use this as a neck knife. I don't have any paracord or any cordage on it right now, but this is the Mora that I keep on a neck knife because I really don't like this to put on the belt. It's kind of pain. But nonetheless, Moras, you know, everyone knows about Moras. The next Mora I have is the Companion. Why I like to carry this Mora interchange with the Mora Classic 1 is because it's a lot easier to get on the body. If I want to clip it on a belt, clip it on, you know, just my pocket. This is a really nice clip, really easy to get on and off, and it's pretty secure, pretty stable. Just got a nice look to it. I like the two-tone color. Really comfortable handle. And all these knives I've been showing, excluding the Rat 2, they all have their spines ground down to be able to throw sparks. You might have seen a picture on Instagram recently, Stony put up of me. We have a little Dremel doing this. Really, really easy, really fun. And makes the knife that much more functional for throwing sparks off a ferro rod and or shaving tinder. And on this particular sheath, I have this little mod that I made. A bunch of Ranger bands, as you can see, individual, and at the bottom here. This is just wood right now. I know there are better materials to keep this in because obviously the problem with wood, hold and retain moisture, all that. But I wanted just to do something to be able to carry this. It was free. This is just what I had. You know, this cost me nothing to do this. Old inner tube from a bicycle, wood that I just drilled through and then carved down to appropriate diameter, circumference, all that. And a ferro rod just being kept in here at a Ranger band. I'm telling you right now, this this ferro rod being kept in by this top Ranger band will not come out. I can shake this as hard as I want and it will not come out. No play at all in there, no play at all. So again, really cool. You know, just a little bit of a cool mod. Ranger bands, again, have their own purpose, really good. if you needed to in a pinch to burn this with a flame to get a sustained flame for a while to start a fire. And again, the Scandi grind, the sharpness for woodworking, just really great. The price of a Mora. For woodworking, the Scandi grind, absolutely awesome. Easy to sharpen. Now, like I said, maybe I didn't mention before, but these edges aren't the greatest if you want a quote survival knife that you want to just pound a heckin' back. These Scandi grinds, this I believe 10-degree edge angle per side. Not the strongest, but for woodworking, for carving, notches, like I mentioned before, super awesome to use. Next to that, I have the SE4. I've been looking for different ways to carry this because this is all that came when it was purchased, just the Kydex sheath. There was no backing to it. I've been carrying this with different paracord configurations, scout style, trying to sling it over shoulders. Still in the market for maybe getting a backing for this to be able to wear it on the hip a little bit more comfortably. I tried making a few different things for this, but nothing really worked out. I don't have the materials. Might just buy some leather and might just buy a whole new sheath for this in general. But why I like the SE4 is it's got that full flat grind, the drop point blade, micarta handles. I don't know if you can tell, but I took off the coating on the blade here. I left the black. You can see it underneath the SE, and I left it back here because it will protect the knife from corrosion and rust. But I wanted to take it off just for drag, for cutting, because these flat grinds, I think this is a 30 degree edge angle per side on this, which makes it a very strong edge. So I feel comfortable batoning with this. But for woodworking, this knife definitely is not as efficient and fun to use as a Mora or a Scandi grind. But as edges go for strength, like I said, I feel comfortable batoning with this. And what I really like about this knife, one of the features of this knife I like, is this finger choil right here. So I can do a little bit finer work right here. This is really comfortable handhold with back in the jimping, finger up here. This is still a comfortable grip as it is like here, but moving the finger up here just gives a lot more control if I wanted to. And this is a pretty dang sharp knife. I've been working on my knives recently, sharpening them through different methods. I'll probably do a video on the different ways I've been practicing and or used to sharpen knives, different products and just techniques. But the SE4, just a great knife. I really wouldn't grab this knife first if I wanted to make some notches, do actual, some bushcrafting things. But it's sharp, the edge is pretty strong, and a quote survival knife that can do everything. Yeah, this is pretty good. A little bit small for, one knife I want to take, but it does everything I need it to do. And the back of this again is ground to throw sparks, shave tinder. And the last knife I'm going to be talking about today is the Ontario Rat 7. And I think I've done videos on every single knife that I have out here right now. But the reason why I like the Rat 7 is because, for one, for the type of forest I'm in, the type of things I do in the forest, it's nice to have a little bit bigger knife if I do want to baton and or use it as a chopper to swing this. The price is really good for this knife. It's a quality knife from Ontario. The sheath is pretty decent quality. Could be a little bit nicer, but nonetheless it's reasonable for what you're going to get for the price. Stony actually took the coating off of this, put a patina on it. What is it, mustard and I think maybe a mustard and vinegar mix. And the coating obviously helps with corrosion, tactical sense. It with the blackened blade, it won't refract light, keep everything covert if you need to be. But with these flat grinds, again, they're not the best for cutting with wood, and taking the coating off just decreases drag going through wood with this really obtuse edge angle. And it's just fun to do, to sort of do these mods on your own. Make the knife yours by putting a patina on it, force patina. Just to know your equipment pretty intimately, mod it, take care of it, all that stuff. Again, this is sharp. This edge needs a little bit of work because Stony and I were using this on some birchwood recently, and it's been pretty dang cold. It's been snowing a lot, and the wood was super hard. Really doesn't have a good characteristic of working with it when it's this cold out and the moisture is sort of frozen in the wood. So this has a little bit of edge damage. I'm trying to bring it back as best I can, just by hand using stones, different varying grits, stuff like that. But again, just a nice knife. I like the finger choil again that I mentioned on the SE4. This rat again has it. If I want to carve, do some carving down here in this part of the blade, I can get some nice control out of it if need be. Really wouldn't use this knife for that, but like, you know, as a one-stop knife, if I want to take a single knife into the bush, you know, the full tang, flat grind, strong edge. Really comfortable to hold up here if I want, with the handle coming out the back a little bit and or choke down on it to be able to swing, get more leverage, let the weight do the work. And there's a little spot in the back of the spine here too that's been ground to throw sparks from a ferrocerium rod. Micarta handle is really comfortable, work well even when they get wet, even better grip when they're wet. Yeah, and that's basically it. And all these knives have a specific purpose for how I interact with the forest and what I do in the forest. And I really honestly don't have that many knives. From what you see here, I maybe have, heck, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 more knives at home that I own. But in general, I don't collect knives for a few reasons. One, I just don't have the resources to just buy things I'm not going to use. Nothing wrong with collecting knives. There's a lot of cool knives, a lot of high quality tools out there that, you know, I'd be interested in owning. But one, I just don't have the resources to buy stuff I'm not going to use. And two, it's always sort of been a personal philosophy of mine to not really own too much that I'm not going to use or use that often. The way my life has sort of, I guess the path I've been on for a while now, is that I really don't have the ability to carry a lot of stuff that I'm not going to use. Pretty much everything I own, I want to, you know, has a purpose, things I'm going to use. I really don't try to carry around a lot of waste with me, just because I moved a lot. There's times I didn't have a car where I was moving a lot, so I need to be able to carry pretty much everything I owned pretty easy on my person. Or you know, sort of along those lines. So I just don't collect a lot of things for those reasons. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a large collection of knives. I'm not saying it's wrong for anyone to do, but for me personally, the way my life has sort of been going and my philosophies, I just don't have a lot of knives that I don't use. So all these knives have their purpose. I use them a lot, whether I'm out in the bush and or back at home doing some work in our garage/shop. If you have any questions about the knives I used, how I carry them, how I use them, you know, leave a comment. Leave a comment if there's, you know, maybe a knife that you think I could replace in here in the future that would work well with knowing now how I use these knives and how I use these certain tools in the forest. Remember to check out blackoutdoors.com. Check us out on Instagram. Check out Blackout on Facebook. This is Krik signing out with Blackout Outdoors. Later, turtles.